everybody, this is Mr. Assassin and I'm here today to do Toriko chapter 367 review. Now, when I woke up this morning and I saw the title of the chapter, Those Tears, I was like, god damn, I knew that Jiro was going to die by the simple title that this chapter has. And his death is, it's not an asshole, but it's shocking to say the least because I wasn't expecting Jiro to be done with so fast. I was expecting this to be a 3-4 chapter fight between him and Acacia. Of course, Acacia would eventually win because he's the final villain and he has to fight with Toriko, so there was no way for Jiro to win. But for him to be done this way, it's sad, man. It's very sad. At least for me, it was a sad battle. And the way Jiro was defeated was because of his sentiments to Acacia. It was not the power of Neo that defeated him in the end, it was his sentiments towards his father, because Acacia was their adopted father. And ever since the beginning of the fight, he made a mistake. First of all, he survived because of the life orb that he stole from the Blue Nitro that he had in a headshaker. And he even says that his headshaker is enough to kill someone many times over, and that's why he took a orb out of that guy's hair so he can protect himself. So he uses that life orb, he comes back to life and he speed blitzes Acacia. He does a million knocking on his body, so Acacia slash Neo cannot move. So we do know right now that knocking works on Neo, because until now nothing worked on Neo. Neo ate everything that was thrown at him, but here's Jiro using knocking and being able to stop Neo in his tracks. So knocking does work, but the mistake that Jiro made was he didn't knock the head of Acacia, the mouth of Acacia. He didn't knock that out because he still wanted to talk to Acacia. And Acacia uses this opportunity to spit out of his mouth some, 20 tongues and undo the knocking on his body. If Jiro would have done a permanent knocking on Acacia's body, he could have finished Acacia off. I think so. But he didn't, because he wanted to speak to Acacia, and Acacia of course doesn't want to speak with him, he wanted to kill him. What Jiro wanted to find out was if the tears he shed, if the tears that Acacia shedded when Froza died were real. And of course Acacia didn't want to answer that. So Acacia started to undo his knocking, and Jiro quote-unquote was prepared for this. He wanted to stop the planet itself, do a grand knocking so he would stop Neo in his tracks. Of course, he wasn't fast enough, because when he does the grand knocking, Neo appears under him. I don't know how exactly that happened, but Neo appears on the crust of the earth and he eats the grand knocking. Neo was not prepared at the beginning to eat that million knocking, so the million knocking did have an effect on him, but I think he got used to the attack or something like that because he ate the grand knocking. So Jiro had one chance, and because he wanted to speak with Acacia, he missed his chance. And that was it. Once Neo ate his grand knocking, Acacia had the necessary time to split blitz Jiro and put his boily hand in Jiro's mouth. And that was it. Because once Acacia had his hand in Jiro's mouth, he undid the knocking that Jiro had on his body. Like, Jiro always knocks damage. We see this every time in his fight with the Blue Nitro, in his idol fight. He knocks the damage. He uses damage knocking. And Acacia apparently is the one who taught Jiro this technique, the knocking technique. And Acacia knows that the damage Jiro knocks, it doesn't disappear. It's just stuck. So if he releases the seals on that damage, the entire damage that Jiro accumulated in his lifetime would hit him all at once. And that's what he does, because he has the hand in Jiro's mouth and he says knocking damage release, and he releases that damage, and according to Acacia, that damage is enough to destroy this planet many times over, and Jiro gets hit by it all at once. He just disintegrates. Jiro disintegrates. But of course, not until he manages to say to Acacia that if those tears were fake, don't tell Midora, because Midora still has the hopes that everyone will be reunited at that golden table. So if everything was fake and Acacia confirms that everything was fake, don't tell Midora. That's his Jiro dying wish. And then he disintegrates. And that was the end of the fight. Very quick pacing, and very sad. I have to say, very sad. Then we jump to Midora, and according to Froze, Midora is still fighting Froze, and according to Froze, Midora is the strongest thing on this planet, the strongest being on this planet. And if we take a look into the past, Acacia said the same thing, that out of the three, Jiro, Ichiryu, and Midora was the strongest. And Acacia knew the potential of Ichiryu and Jiro. And if he said that Acacia is the strongest, he is the strongest. And now we have confirmation of that because Froze says the same thing. But Froze says that Midora is lacking in the cooking department. So if she's going to defeat him, she will have to do so by cooking him. And right now she's preparing something. And Midora's look, he's pretty amazed by what he sees. But we don't get to see what Froze does this chapter because the chapter ends. I guess we'll see in the next chapter. I don't know if she's going to be able to defeat him, but it has something to do with memories, because she wants to implant some memories in Midora. So that's the chapter. A very sad chapter. Rest in peace, Jiro. God damn it, sad. Very sad. Rate, comment, subscribe, tell me your opinions, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a nice day.
Any rational society would either kill me or put me to some use.